Alrighty, hey everyone, welcome to the Creatorcast. In this episode, I'll be interviewing the longest cosplays. Here we go. There we go. Hey there.
Hi.
Sorry, I have to do an intro now since it bodes well for views.
Oh, intros are the best, honestly.
That's what I agree. So how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Just catch up with my day, getting commissions done. Trying to get commissions done.
That's totally fair.
Yeah, just chilling out, hanging out, relaxing.
So you do commissions, okay? What do you do commissions for?
I mainly do commissions for Spider-Man suits. Like I design pattern files of Spider-Man costumes, but I do dive into like the DC territory, and I have done a few things outside of the superhero genre.
Yeah.
I believe I did a commission for a Bruce Lee uniform. I don't
Really?
remember which one it was. Yeah. It's like an all yellow with like black stripes going down. The arms and sides.
That sounds awesome.
It was pretty fun to do. But it's mostly Spider-Man stuff because that's just what I'm known for.
Yeah.
But I get a ton of cool, unique spider sonas and designs all the time, and I really enjoy doing it.
That's great. Do you mind me asking how much you charge when you're doing commissions?
No, I don't mind. I'd usually charge $35, just to do a commission, and if you need any refinements or any adjustments made to it, I usually just charge an extra $10.
Jeez,
So I like to keep things fair. Yeah.
I should have just gone to you when I got mine made. I got mine made by Real Hero Designs.
And very talented person.
Very talented. It was only like $50, so not that much of a difference, but still. Although I love the design, it looks incredible.
Yeah, no, he's one of my biggest inspirations as of recent, and me and him are pretty good friends. He gives me, advice and tips on stuff, and I'm very grateful for it.
That's amazing. So you see, I have questions lined up when I get into these, and you've answered like half of them so far with just talking. Okay, so then I will guess I'll ask my other question. Who have been your like biggest inspirations for getting into pattern making then?
So when I first started doing this, like when I first started taking it seriously, there's this guy, his name is New Blood Dan. He's made a ton of comic-based patterns. His most like popular ones are his Amazing Fantasy 15 and his Amazing Spider-Man 252 symbiote, which I have in my closet right now. He was always my biggest inspiration because at the time, and still today, he has been one of the most accurate pattern makers I've ever seen. No one else has been able to replicate his style, and he also has a 1967 cartoon pattern, which I've got printed twice.
Yeah. And
when I made my own, I couldn't top his level. So he's always been one of my biggest inspirations. The aforementioned Real Heroes Designs, as of recent, has been one of my bigger inspirations. Trying to strive more for accuracy and strive more to just better up my game. And there's also I'm gonna double up this one. ATX Spider and Sensational Spidey.
Yeah.
Both of those people, very kind people, as with the rest of everyone that I just mentioned. Kind people, down to earth, but they know their craft, they know what they're doing, and especially on Sensational Spidey's part, he does a much better job of teaching how to make patterns than I do.
Yeah.
And he just has like his whole thing together. His base is very easy, very simple to understand, and he made it available for both Photoshop and GIMP users. And his base is free right now as long as you give him credit if you sell patterns with his base, and that's commendable. I really respect that. And with ATX, he has some of the most accurate stuff in the game right now. His Insomniac patterns and his Spectacular patterns, creme de la creme, amazing, top tier, highly recommend.
Really?
yes, like even like I saw his spectacular stuff right after I made mine, and I got humbled real quick. Like he nailed it, like to the T. It looks like it was ripped straight from the show.
So I actually we had Sensational on here for our first episode. That
I
was like
saw that, yeah.
my premiere. I was very happy with that. He it does incredible work, but you're talking about like how you got humbled. I just looked at your shop like no joke a minute before I got in here, and you have a really good spectacular suit. Like it looks accurate to the show.
Thank you. I spent, and I'm not even joking, I spent a month and a half working on that. I wanted to make sure I got the colors right and the cell shading right. Because I noticed that previously, with the exception of, I think, me and ATX, there aren't many spectacular patterns that do like the cartoon cell shading. And that really upsets me because that's like a very big thing about spectacular and most of the comic and TV suits is that they don't do the cell shading, and it's fine. Like I dig the realistic approach to it,
Yeah,
but you can't go wrong with cell shading.
yeah. That's what I've kind of liked about Real Heroes is that while they do the realistic stuff, they also do the comic and cell shading stuff.
Yeah, he always does he always does both of those just because there's different people that like different tastes.
Yeah.
And I remember when he did his McFarlane patterns, he came to me to like to ask about like whether or not like it looked good, and I took a quick skim through like McFarlane's art, read a couple issues, and I was like, yeah, that looks good. That looks like exactly like what he would have done.
Yeah.
And I really like appreciate like how much time and effort he takes to like make sure that like his muscle bases and his cell shading, it looks good. That's something that a lot of people don't do, and I really respect that.
Sorry, I'd like to have him on here at some point. There are a ton of people I would love to have on here that I doubt I will ever have on here, but still.
I get it. There's a lot of people that I would love to see on here myself.
Well, you know what? If I ever get anybody that you'd be interested in, let me know.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe I'll do a joint interview.
Oh, actually, that's a good idea. I'm not gonna lie, that would be kind of sick.
At some point, I want to get like a couple of the bigger creators, like once I've had them on here, and get them all together, and like just. But
assemble the Avengers of cosplayers.
Exactly. So, you mentioned in the beginning you make patterns not just for Spider-Man but also for other things. I noticed a while back you did a cosplay for Green Lantern.
Yes. Oh my god, I have a great history with Green Lantern. I got into Green Lantern in 2020, one of the darkest years of my life. And just I read a bunch of the Rebirth and New 52 stories, and I was like, damn, I love Hal Jordan. So naturally, I impulse bought a Green Lantern suit.
Oh,
and since then, I've just been collecting comics. I have a ton of them in my drawer right now, and much more back in my home.
Yeah.
And I don't really see too many Green Lantern cosplays, which when I do see them, they're always amazing. I've never seen like a bad one. And I have a ton of Green Lantern patterns like on my shop, and I do plan to revise the rest of them and do some of the other Lantern Corps, like the Sinestro Corps and the Blue Lantern Corps, for example.
That's so cool. Have you read any Parallax stuff?
So that's actually yes, I love Parallax. I'm one of the few people on the planet that still do. I love like Parallax in the 90s. I've met the creator, Daryl Banks, like 3 different times in the past 2 years. One of the nicest souls. I've got him to sign a couple of my 90s Green Lantern issues. And I love the character of Parallax. I love that it's just Hal Jordan's descent into madness.
Yeah.
And I don't even mind the retcon of it being like the embodiment of fear possessing Hal Jordan. that's just another one of the many reasons why I love him as a character. And I do want to cosplay Parallax one day. That is among my list once I get better at my prop making, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, hit me up if you ever need help with props, because I make props.
No kidding. I will definitely.
I made the.
Oh, hell yeah!
It has Bluetooth headphones.
I noticed all the bat symbols underneath your warning sign there. I really enjoy that.
They aren't close enough anymore. They used to be like right here. I could just grab one, but.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely have to hit you up for that at some point.
I feel like I need to like open commissions or something, because I feel like I could do a lot.
Absolutely, like if you have the time and effort to do it, and let alone the energy, absolutely go for it. It's my only source of income, so.
You know what? That's totally fair. I need to get one of those. Because right now my source of income is literally nothing.
No, I get that.
So, okay, we started this conversation a little bit before stream because of A&W. You made a Coca-Cola Spidey suit a while back, didn't you?
I did. So my good friend Spectacular Scarlet Spider, known this guy for like most of my life, 7 years, whatever. I've known this for. He's one of my closest friends. We're pretty. We go to the same school. And you know, this guy's been like one of my biggest supporters of just my entire cosplay career. And one day I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. He is the reason I got into pattern making, because
really?
his favorite band is The Strokes, and he came to me. He was like, Alex, you need to make me an early 2000s nostalgia Spider Strokes man. It was like a running joke he had, and I was like, yeah, sure, just give me a design and I'll just whip it up real quick. And I did. He gave me one, and it's like a really shitty concept art that he did in 5 minutes in MS Paint, and I just kind of whipped it up, gave it to him. It's mostly yellow and black with a bunch of like red, blue, and pink highlights. It's a messy ass suit, but it's hilarious. And so he had, and then
did you actually get
several
it made?
Years after that, he did get it made. It was actually one of his biggest posts when he revealed it at the time, and I think it still is. People really seem to like that for some reason.
That's funny.
Yes, and he has been like the biggest like candidate for like shitpost suits.
Yeah.
So he came to me like last year and he was like, hey, I need you to make me a Coca-Cola based costume. And I was like, sure, what the hell, why not? So I sat in my dorm room like for a good minute. I think I might have been home for the weekend, I don't remember, but I sat on my computer and I whipped it up. I used the like actual like Coca-Cola red, so like I legally cannot sell it to anyone else. Like I used like the legitimate colors, and I used like a picture of like a Coke bottle for the spider, combined it with like a 2002 concept art that I got approved by him, and then I used the PS4 back emblem or PS4 classic back emblem for it, and I whipped that up within a couple of days, gave it to him, and he finally got it printed after so long. And it's a legitimately good looking suit, and I kind of hate how good it looks because it's meant to be like a shitpost thing, but he nailed it. I love how it looks. It has compelled me to make a Mountain Dew suit.
Yes.
I really want to do that and just get one for myself.
Except, you know,
because I don't really see.
Sorry.
No,
for that one, you should do a Green Lantern one.
I have plans to like mash up Green Lantern and Spider-Man at some point. I need to get some art commissioned because I have not been able to come up with a good design for myself. Even though costume design is my whole thing, I have not been able to come up with something that I like. So I'm hoping that one day I can commission someone to get something like that for me. It's a big plan of mine.
I mean, hey, if you want, I can try and whip up something for free.
I will have to have a discussion with you after this about that.
Alrighty. Because I love doing that kind of stuff. I'm making my own show, so I had to make my own Spidey suit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I believe I saw that because I remember going through your profile like shortly after like you DM'd me, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is kind of sick.
Actually, you DM'd me.
Well, I DM'd you because of interest, and then like you got back to me, and I was like, wait a minute, that's right. Let me check you out, like, just to make sure, like, what's going on. I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Homie's got like a show thing going on. That explains the pattern.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Dude, that pattern is like my pride and joy until I get the suit made.
That's how it is.
I'm gonna be playing Peter. I'm gonna be a girl playing Peter, and we'll see how it goes.
It's gonna go great.
But, so yeah, the Coca-Cola thing. Couldn't you just change the colors and then you could sell it?
I would have to. I don't know, because I use like the exact hex codes, of the red. So I guess if I were to like
change it by one,
darken it, change it by that'd be too close. I'd probably get a cease and desist, but
fine, change it by 3.
Change it by it's just 2 more numbers. That's all that's gonna do. Yeah.
So I also wanted to ask you. Okay, I meant to ask the last person I interviewed about this, but I've noticed something with the Spidey cosplay community on Instagram. Barbie.
Yeah, what about Barbie? I have the soundtrack here on CD.
I didn't know that's what it was. There was like the postings of it was like, I think it was Ken. It said something like, it's Ken. And then you'd have your Spidey cosplay in front of the Barbie logo.
Yeah, the he's just Ken. Yeah, I saw a lot of those popping up when those posters got revealed.
I don't know what that's about. I'm still like, I don't have any suits yet or anything. I don't have anything. So that's why, like, in my description on Instagram, I just had to put cosplayer ? Because, like, I'm not technically a cosplayer yet.
I mean, you have a pattern made already. I would say you're on the way. I think, technically, your journey begins literally anywhere.
That's fair. Like, this is it's gonna be a McFarlane face shell.
Oh.
The eyes are just giant.
Yeah, you have face shells already. Yeah, you're a cosplayer.
Alright, thank you. And then there's this mask that I show off in every interview. I'm not proud of it though. It's just a red mask that I sewed together and put black eyes on.
What are the lenses made? What are the lenses made of?
Mesh. Just.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It none of it's just 3D printed or anything. It's just I sewed it all together and was just like, eh.
Hey, that takes a lot of patience.
Thank you. I need to look into pattern making. I'm really excited for that.
Sensational Spidey, like I said, has the best tutorials on it. I have tutorials myself, but I do a very shit job of explaining it because I'm so used to doing it that I can't like explain it properly.
Yeah.
But his tutorials are amazing for that. And you can pretty much translate it to any pattern base you're working on.
Okay.
Give or take, some like seams are gonna line up differently depending on whose base you use. But
yeah,
his tutorial should definitely give you like a good general understanding of what's going on.
Yeah. I don't know. That could be a good source of money.
It is a great source of money. I particularly love doing it. I've had like my fair share of like long breaks because I'd get burned out because I would do it so much, but I would also really enjoy doing it so much. But so I would do it to myself. Yeah. And sometimes I'll like sit down at my desk and be like, you know what? I'm gonna turn one of my concepts into a pattern, and I just do that within a day.
You made a Coca-Cola Spidey.
Yes.
Have you made any other pattern designs that you're like really proud of?
So one of the very first instances of me being like extremely proud of a pattern is my final version of my Steve Ditko Spider-Man suit. My buddy Spectacular Scarred Spider has it. I have it made. I genuinely spent 2 years with 4 different versions of it just to make sure I got it right. And I spent like years studying Steve's artwork, making sure that I got like the right amount of blues, the right amount of blacks, and just overall the right colors.
Yeah.
Because Steve Ditko never like drew the suit consistently. Even on like his early Amazing Spider-Man run, he never drew it consistently, except for the back emblem. The back emblem was always like kind of long and like elongated and
Yeah.
lanky. I was like the only thing he ever did consistently. His webs were never consistent. His lenses were semi-consistent, and especially his front emblem. So it was really hard doing that. Another one of my proudest ones, I gotta say, is this is actually a really good question, because like I realized that I top myself each and every time.
Yeah.
My classic Moon Knight, my Daredevil yellow suit, my Fleischer Superman, and my Spider-Man 2099. Those are all patterns that I am extremely proud of, because those took me, I want to say, an accumulated total of 4 to 5 months to do those.
Really?
Obviously spread out. Yeah. Like the Moon Knight suit was impulsive. I just decided to make that one day because I never saw it out there.
Yeah.
The Daredevil yellow suit, I just really like that suit. I'm not gonna lie.
It's
That's my favorite Daredevil suit. Yeah. And I think I did that right after She-Hulk came out.
Nice.
And then my Fleischer Superman suit, again, that was just out of impulse, because I've never seen a like a show, or not a show, I guess like a film accurate one.
Yeah.
And then my Spider-Man 2099, that actually has lore to it. So I didn't make it because of Across the Spider-Verse. I made it because I wanted to meet the co-creator Rick Leonardi at Heroes Con this past June. And it took me a month and a half to study his work.
I have a very important question about your 2099 suit.
I have a very important answer.
Did you go with the original design? Like the not Spider-Verse one?
No, I spent a month and a half working on, or like rereading, like, I believe the first 6 issues of Spider-Man 2099 Volume 1. And who was drawn by Rick Leonardi, and I spent so much time like studying the colorists, studying the specific way the cell shading ran down the arms, ran down the legs,
Yeah.
and especially the torso. I spent so long making sure that I got that front emblem exactly how he drew it, and which was honestly the hardest task. Because a lot of people, when they do 2099, they do the Shattered Dimensions Edge of Time suits, which I'm going to be the first to admit I do not like those suits, and I do not like the Across the Spider-Verse suit.
I don't like the Across the Spider-Verse suit.
I don't like them. It's bad. But so like I spent like hours upon hours studying the front emblem, the way the eyes and the nose specifically were drawn.
Yeah.
The way like the spider like is like the skull, and I spent a while getting like the, I guess, Spider-Man Unlimited-esque like black thing going like in the front of the mask, and having that highlight in one of the corners of the head. And it took me, like I said, it took me a month and a half. Got it printed and sewn. I made the lenses and the arm spikes out of craft foam and window screen. Then I made the cape out of a pillowcase, sewed it onto the back of my suit, and I met Rick Leonardi. I got him to sign the first appearance and the first 5 issues of Spider-Man 2099, and he told me it was one of the best like 2099 suits that he had ever seen.
That is amazing.
He looked really impressed. It made my entire day.
Dude, okay, so I completely agree with you. I don't really know what the Shattered Dimension one, I guess, looks like. I haven't played that game. I need to. But I know the, I don't know. I know the, I'm completely blanking. The comic Spider-Verse suit, that's like one of the only appearances I've actually seen of 2099 in the comics, because I haven't read his run yet. Or at least with that suit. I've read the one with the white suit.
I like the white suit a lot. I think I might be in the minority of that, but I think it's really cool as like an upgrade. Because I think it was made as an upgrade. Because I'm
Yeah.
reading Volume 3 right now, which is where that suit appears in.
Yeah.
Because the volumes 1 and 2, he's in his classic black suit.
Yeah.
The
black
and then he
with
upgrades.
blue highlights.
Yeah, I believe now it's just been retconned to be blue, which I do not mind. I like the blue, because in every single one of his appearances, he is blue. Like every single one of his appearances post 90s,
Yeah.
he has been blue. So I personally do not mind it because that's what I grew up seeing. So I'm like, okay, I'm used to it. I like it.
Dude, for me, it's been.
Yeah, no,
Sorry, go ahead.
You're good. I personally really recommend reading Volume 1. I think that's just his best run. You're welcome to read the Spider-Verse stuff in Volume 2. I think Volume 2 is fine. The Spider-Verse stuff is also fine. And I'm finishing up Volume 3, so I cannot say anything about that.
That's fair.
He's a wonderful character. I really like him.
2099 has some of the best character development, I feel like.
Oh no, absolutely.
But like for me, my favorite comic book of all time is Spider-Verse. I have the comic version. I don't. The movies slightly bother me, but we don't need to get into that.
Ooh.
I have very strong opinions. Well, because it's like, if there's, never mind. We don't need to get into my Spider-Verse rant right now, but it's just like
we don't need to anger the YouTube commenters.
Exactly, the 3 that I have. But no, like for me, I first saw 2099 in Ultimate Spider-Man, like the show.
Oh, okay.
They had a Spider-Verse crossover, and he came into like. He started out in like a 3D, like kind of looking futuristic.
Yeah,
world.
it was CGI with 3D models.
Exactly, and that was like that's 2099 for me. That changed obviously, but when he came into like the main cartoon dimension, he was just blue, and there was a character that was in all black. It was Spider-Man Noir, right next to him. And he was still blue. So for me, he's just always been blue.
Yeah, it's like one of those things because I believe Rick Leonardi himself said that like Spider-Man 2099 is blue like Superman's hair, like black but with blue highlights.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Dude, the people who like will post something being like, oh, this is what it should look like. And it's just all black. I feel like it just doesn't look right.
I don't mind like 2099 all black suits. I like both color combos a lot.
Yeah.
But I think just because of my natural bias and like the way I grew up on things, naturally I think, oh yeah, 2099. That's a mostly blue costume.
Yeah.
I think it is a waste of time arguing it because you're going to be fighting a losing battle on every side of the war.
Yeah.
So,
like the like if you look at Miles' suit, that's all black. It should be the same thing, but
yeah,
it's
people aren't going to understand.
Although I do like what Across the Spider-Verse did, where it was like only in the light he had a blue outline sort of thing.
Yeah, like the armor plating that goes around like his chest and abdomen. I really like that as well. I think it's a very subtle way of doing things, kind of like how the No Way Home final swimsuit has a gold emblem that's black and darker lighting.
Yeah. See,
kind of like that.
That's what I love. Is like, okay, what are your opinions on the MCU suits actually?
So, that's ironic you say that because I'm wearing my No Way Home upgraded mask right now.
Yeah.
I am in the. I like them a lot. I really do. I like the Civil War concept suit a lot. The Stark Tech suit is great. I love the upgraded suit, the red and black. I love
Me
it.
too.
I have 3 different versions of that,
Damn.
and most recently I have the No Way Home upgraded, with the pointed belt because I just really like pointy belts.
The upgraded one is the gold one, right?
That is the integrated suit. The upgraded is just red and black with a white back spider and white highlights on the front.
Oh, but you got one from No Way Home. Gotcha. Never mind.
Yeah. The Far From Home version is a little bit different in terms of the way the belt is shaped and the way the I guess the sleeves are cut off.
Okay.
But yeah, I mostly like all the MCU suits. I'm one of the very few people that like the MCU Iron Spider more than the comic Iron Spider. That's a strikingly hot take, but I will die on this hill.
It is also a very wrong take.
I respect the comic Iron Spider, but I just like the MCU one more. The only like MCU suits I don't really like, or I guess I'm not fond of, are I refuse to call it Night Monkey, but the stealth suit from Far From Home and the black and gold suit from No Way Home. Those are the only 2 that I am not like the biggest fan of, but I will still eventually get them anyway because I can and I will.
Night Monkey, you can just go online and buy the pieces for it.
Yeah, it's not that hard to assemble. It's just pricey.
Yeah.
I like the concept behind it, but I just hate the name. I really hate them calling him Night Monkey. That is a stupid name. I'm sorry.
I don't think that's what the suit should have been labeled. I liked the joke in the movie, but not the suit being labeled.
Like it is definitely like a shield stealth suit.
Yeah. See, that would have been a great
name. I believe it has the shield emblem on the
it does right here.
Like the left side of his torso, yeah. And I just don't like the black and gold suit. The inside out.
Yeah, that's just
like I think it's fun, but that's impractical.
I feel like at that point he should have just gone like full bombastic bagman, got spandex in a paper bag.
Or reverted back to his homemade suit.
Oh my gosh, that would have been so much better.
Yeah. That's like it's like a minor nitpick. I don't really care. I'm like I said, I'm still gonna get it anyway.
Yeah.
Because money, but yeah, no, I mostly like the MCU suits. I think they're really fun. I think they're like nice, decent representations of Spider-Man, especially his final swing suit.
Yes.
Giving us one of the more comic accurate, while still pertaining to the MCU style, with all the tech lines on the blue sections still being from the upgraded suit, and him carrying. And I had a conversation with a buddy of mine like about this. Like I'm not like the biggest fan of like the gold emblem, but I do like I did like realize like he could just be carrying like all the like stuff he's been through, like in that emblem, and I am starting to like it a little bit more now. And I'll again be one of the first to say I really like the integrated suit. I've liked it since it was revealed, and I still continue to like it. I've been its #1 defender since the leaks.
So, okay. I have very weird opinions on this. So for the Iron Spider, I don't think it's a bad suit per se, but I think it's simply the original was so iconic that the fact that they're changing it kind of is a little bit off.
Yeah, no, that was definitely something that I saw a lot, because like I've never been the biggest fan of the Iron Spider as a concept. I don't like it. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
But I do respect like how famous and like recognizable it is. And that was like one of the biggest things I saw when Infinity War, like the trailer for Infinity War got dropped, and he was in that. Or I guess the the end scene of Homecoming, I guess also had it. But I remember seeing patterns come out that just recolored it to be red and gold, and I always thought it looked weird.
So
and I believe they did that for the No Way Home concept art too.
Here's the thing that really bothers me with the MCU Iron Spider, is that it is all shades of brown. just all the colors are
only-
so dull, I feel like, with that one, that I would like, if the red was a little bit lighter, I think I would like it a ton more.
That could, I guess, because it is CGI, but color grading does impact like the suit's colors.
Yeah.
And every single movie it appears differently.
Yeah.
Like I think it appears even differently from Infinity War to Endgame and Far From Home. Because in Far From Home, I would say it looks its best. I really like the colors that it has in Far From Home. The No Way Home version is just fine. The Homecoming version is just fine. But I do see what you mean. I do think the colors are a bit dull. I have seen like variations of like patterns that like have made it a little bit lighter. But I don't know. I still really like it, but I understand like your sentiment on that. That makes a lot of sense.
And then also, I feel like the suit is fine, but like they pulled the gold emblem for the integrated suit. I don't know. I feel like that could have been so much better on the Iron Spider.
I know there are concept arts where the Iron Spider emblem is gold on like the actual thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I think the integrated suit is what the Iron Spider should have been.
I agree. See, okay, you know what would have been really cool is if it was like Iron Man finds this kid and gives him the Iron Spider suit, just like that. And it would have lined up a lot more with, because the whole reason he has an Iron Spider suit is because he's Team Iron Man in the comics. So if they gave him that and then he kind of left that and made his own suit,
like he degressed
exactly
gradually.
Like he had his crap suit, because that's just how I label all homemade suits now. Apparently, my Ben Reilly homemade suit in my show is just called the crap suit. So, if he went from that to Iron Spider to making his own stuff, I don't know. I think it could have gone a lot better.
I think I've heard that argument before. I don't remember where I saw it. I think for the MCU, it's fine. I don't mind that he has like a somewhat classic suit and then gets an upgrade.
Yeah.
And then I guess upgrades his classic suit and then he gets an upgrade of the my flowchart in my brain is not working. It's a very wonky series of upgrades and downgrades, but I see what you mean.
I'm just glad we finally get him back in blue and red. Like he was in his blue and red suit in one movie. Oh, in one whole movie. But like
in one whole movie, yeah. No, I completely agree, and I hope to God they keep it. Because the Captain America New World Order, or I don't know if they changed the title. I forget if they did. Brave New World, I think it is.
Oh, really?
Either way, Captain America 4.
Yeah.
I know they replaced Falcon's suit. Because it was like the comic accurate. Yes, the set photos look completely different. From his suit at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier, being like the classic.
Yeah.
The classic white and blue with the goggles and the cool. It's just cool as hell. And then they replaced it and made the colors a little. Yeah, it looked amazing in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Then they replaced the suit for Captain America 4, and that makes me worry for Spider-Man 4 because I don't know if they're gonna change the final swing suit.
And I think that's part of the reason they did it like they did, was they're like, okay, this is like the rough idea of what we're gonna do, but if we want to refine it later on, let's just have him blurry run through the swing or run through the end scene.
Yeah. Which makes sense, but there's also so much concept art and merchandise released for it that I feel like it would be very upsetting to many people, myself included, if they change it.
Yeah. So I was just watching a video before this, and it gave me an idea for a question. What is your favorite Spidey suit, just overall?
Hands down the 2002 suit, specifically 2002.
Really?
That is
Spider-Man 1?
Spider-Man 1. That is the very first suit that I've seen. I love the front emblem. I love the back emblem. The colors are amazing. I love that the webs are imperfect. I love the way that the lenses, like, the frames are like almost black, but they're still kind of like that, like gunmetal.
Yeah.
I love like the near black frames. I love just everything about it. I love how it was made. I love how like the muscle suit fits underneath, and
Yeah.
I love the concept art behind it. Every single one of those pieces of concept art I want made into a suit one day for
That's
myself. I will spend so much money to get all of those. And I've done two 2002 suits, both of which are by real heroes, and I believe I have I got a recent older version of his pattern.
Yeah.
And I've yet to get it made. And he keeps updating his Raimi patterns all the time.
Yeah.
And they just keep getting better and better. But yeah, that's my favorite suit. It's just when I think of Spider-Man, that's the very first thing I think of.
Now, okay, with that, what are your opinions on the symbiote suit for Raimi?
I love it as well. I think it is a perfectly sensible adaptation of the symbiote suit for the Raimi universe. A lot of people want to argue that it's just the red and blue suit but colored black. While that is very true, it's a lot more to that. There's a lot more intricacies. It was the first screen printed suit, I believe, for live action. I could be wrong about that, but I believe it was the very first screen printed Spider-Man suit because of how shiny the textures are on camera. The webbing is all silver. The lenses are bigger and more aggressive. Obviously the emblems are different. And I don't know, I just really like it. I think it makes a lot of sense for him to have like essentially a more aggressive version of his classic suit.
Yeah.
And I love like the comic look as well. Like I love it just as much as the next guy. But I think for like what Sam Raimi and the costume design team were trying to do, I think it makes a lot of sense, and it is one of my favorite alternative suits for just Spider-Man as a whole. I have done two SM3 black suits, and one of them is a replica that I choose to not wear because of how much I like it.
Wow.
I got it made by this guy named the Dark Spider on Instagram, and it's fully puff painted, has urethane emblems on it, and the face shell and lens set was made everything was made by him, and he got like a lot of like the most accurate stuff at the time, and I think even still to this day he's working on updating his stuff. But I haven't worn his SM3 black suit too much because, like I said, it's like a replica, and I don't want to like ruin it.
Yeah.
Because of like the things that I do in these suits. Like I'm a very active person, and I do not want like any web lines or logos to be breaking.
I totally get that.
Yeah.
Like there were some of your shots I saw that you're like have one arm under a leg or something, and you're posing, and it's just
where I have like one heel on like my ass, and like it's like a very weird thing.
Yeah. You're like twisting.
Yeah. I really like contorting my body. A lot of my poses are like just references to like standard Spider-Man poses.
Yeah.
One of my go-tos, and you can find this like anywhere, like I have my back turned, one of my arms going back, kind of like claw grip, and like another arm like kind of like down. I can't like do it right now because I'm in a chair.
Yeah.
That was actually a Far From Home poster reference.
Really?
The only difference is like the arm placement. Like his arm is like more on the front, while mine is in the back.
Yeah.
But I try to reference poses, and with the so-called ass to heel pose that I do. Which is something I started. I made that up myself. I don't know if it's a legitimate pose, but if it is, then whoever came up with it is amazing. But that's a self-made one that I just started doing to kind of show off my flexibility.
You know what? We
Which
need
I'm not
more
too
justice
flexible,
for
but
the
you know,
ASSHEEL.
more. I need more representation. A lot of people, like, I've gotten like really good at posing, and a lot of people have started noticing this, and they come to me. They're like, "How do you do it?" I'm just like, I don't know. I've been doing this for 7 years. I've just kind of started studying posing.
I'm just gonna throw ASSHEEL in the description.
Because I believe the ass to heel pose is like the photo that I sent to you, one of them at least. Because I have like,
here.
because I actually very first did that pose in my Steve Ditko suit, and since then I've just started doing that, and it's now one of my go-tos, especially to kind of like show off whenever I'm walking around on campus. I just kind of whip that out, and I'm like, ooh. You're like, ooh, you're flexible. Like you're kind of like Spider-Man. And I'm like, yep, this is my substitute for not being able to do front flips.
That's totally fair. See, when I get my suit, I want to be able to like, I want to make a whole. So, I have like 3 thoughts going on at once. So I run 2 channels now. I just got rid of one. But I run 2. This one, Creators Entertainment, and then I run another, Creators in a Box, and we make stuff on that one. Props. Let's write me down. Each of our logos are like representations of something we've made on the channel, like the Creators in a Box one. There's the helmet, and then this one there's the Spidey logo that I have. And I'm so excited on the Creators in a Box channel. I want to find a way to like take the suit that I'm gonna order and like build something into it so that it is actually like kind of resistant to stuff. Like if there's like very like thin flexible body armor or something I could like put on under it or like sew into it. I don't know.
I would say put it underneath, like have like an undersuit and then put something like over the undersuit and wear the suit over that.
Yeah.
That would probably be like the best way to go about that.
So I also wanted to ask, do you wear a face shell?
I do wear face shells. I wear them constantly because of my Italian genetics, I have a fairly like big nose.
Yeah.
And like in my first 3 years, I didn't wear face shells because I just didn't have the money to. But when I first started wearing them, I was like, okay, this is like the best thing ever. Why haven't I been doing this sooner? Now I'm wearing one right now. This file was made by Andre Blend and printed and assembled by my eye reveal. Ooh. Yeah, this was printed and assembled by my good friend Spider Brian. I usually leave all the creators of everything I wear in my post descriptions, my captions. And yeah, most of my shells are actually made by Spider Brian and files made by Andre Blend. I do have a PS4 shell that was made by Matthew DC, but the lenses broke. And I do not have the money to afford new lenses for it.
Gotcha.
So I just kind of started using it as like a universal shell to kind of wear under most of my suits with attached lenses.
Gotcha.
But I really like face shells. The only instance where I wouldn't wear one is if a mask has attached lenses or if I have mid frames. And I have yet to do mid frames, even though I've been looking at them for years now.
What are mid frames?
Essentially, it'll be kind of like, how do I describe it? It'll be like the shape of the lens, but kind of like a little bit bigger, and like there's a hole sunk into it with an eye hole, and it has magnets on both sides, so it'll attach to the lens and to the face shell. But it'll allow you to keep the magnetic lens on the mask without having to wear the full shell. So in case you wanted to, I guess have like a movie style mask, like as like a prop, then you can do that. Or if you wanted to eat with the mask on, which is something I really love doing, then you can do that as well.
Cool. I want to get one of the, there are face shells I've seen that like you can move your jaw with them.
Oh, the moving jaw shells?
Yeah.
I have one that's kind of like a prototype. I really like it. I've not really noticed too much of a difference when people do have moving jaw shells, I have heard that it is more comfortable though, but
Yeah.
I don't really have a place to say that. I believe this shell, or no, my one of my shells is moving jaw, or supposed to be, but I just kind of glued it in.
Yeah.
My 2002 shell, there you go. My 2002 shell is supposed to be moving jaw, but I glued it in.
Oh.
But I've not seen too much of a difference in terms of like how it looks to talk. Like if I just move my jaw enough,
Yeah.
like you can see that.
But it's
which is
also like with
fine.
hand motion, you kind of like.
Yeah,
know
with
something's
head
off.
motion, I really like emoting. Like
Yeah.
I base a lot of like how my body language is from TASM 2. Just like how erratic like Andrew's head movements were.
Yeah.
And just kind of like the head tilts, and everything. Because I don't have moving lenses, so that's like the next best thing I have.
Yeah. I feel like I want to. There's somebody I was talking to. I think it might have been Spectacular Spidey. No, Sensational. Sorry, that's what I meant. Who wanted to do moving lenses, and I'm like, if you can get out there and like put moving lenses in a suit and not die of heat, do it.
That man is always bettering his game. I don't know how he does it all the time, but he does. I believe he could do it.
Yeah. We were talking, and somebody in the comments, no, it wasn't in the comments. It was somebody who just mentioned it to me after. It was like, oh yeah, he was humble, and I'm like, okay, because
he's a very humble. No,
he is.
He is a very humble person.
Well, okay, but the person who was saying it to me was being very sarcastic.
Oh.
So
Well.
that's why I was kind of like, oh, hold on a sec. He's great.
No, he's a great person. I've met him a few times in person. In fact, my very first shell of mine was given to me by him, and I believe his very first 3D printed face shell is also one that I own. It's a like a stock Raimi file that he just randomly found. I just printed and gave it to me. And he also made me some 67 lenses. So I believe I'm one of, if not his first customer.
That is amazing.
It is amazing. But yeah, I love his work so much. And I really hope he goes into the moving lens area, because my bank account will be crying.
Well, because he's also like, he's made his suit and like he's working, I think, on web shooters now, and it's like he's gonna end up being the one of us to be the real Spider-Man soon enough.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, bless
you.
Thank you. But yeah, I feel like if anybody is gonna be Spidey, it's gonna be him.
I completely agree. He's him at this point.
Yeah, completely agree. So I look evil here. Somebody just dropped something in my house. So okay, I ask this question in every podcast, and I think we have to wrap up here soon. So I wanted to ask, who is your favorite live-action Spidey?
Tobey Maguire. No hesitation right there. He is the man that I aspire to be like. I think and a lot of my friends over at Junk Art Media, they love to argue with me about this because they don't like Raimi Spider-Man, but I love him.
Yeah.
I think or maybe that was too brash of a statement, I don't know. They'll have to harass me about it. But I love Tobey Maguire. He's the first Spider-Man that I saw, the one that I grew up watching. And every single time I binge watch the trilogy, I end up bawling my eyes out. And I just feel so much inspiration and hope when I see him, that it just kind of like radiates within me. And yeah, I love him so much. He's hands down my favorite.
Okay. So I'll give you that. For me, I'm a kind of split up person. That Tobey's a good Peter Parker, Andrew is a good Spider-Man, Tom is an MCU Spider-Man. Honestly, like, that's the best way to describe him.
Yeah, that's the pipeline that I see a lot.
Because everybody in the MCU
And I respect all the other actors, and I love them just as much.
Yeah.
Like I think Andrew Garfield does a great job. I think Tom Holland does a great job with what they're given. You know, I love them all. Even Nicholas Hammond.
Who's Nicholas Hammond?
He played Spider-Man in the live-action 1977 TV series and went on to do 2 TV productions for Spider-Man.
Kind of.
Technically.
I need to do my Spider-Man research. I'm interviewing Spidey cosplayers.
Have you thought about getting probably Spider-Man on here?
Dude, I was just talking to somebody in one of the last episodes and I need to get him on here.
You really do. Kai will definitely give you one of the best interviews known to man. He can go on about Spider-Man until his ass bleeds.
Dude, okay. My goal for this series is by episode. Do you know who Anakin Monkey is? Or like Miles?
I don't know.
Okay. Not just the Spidey cosplayer, but like just that is something he does. He is by far my favorite person to watch, period. He is just like such a nice guy. And it's like my goal is to have him on here by episode 50. I'm like that. I'm gonna do that, and I'm probably gonna have PSM first.
Absolutely. Like a lot of like my opinions on costume design have like kind of been influenced by Kai, because like he knows what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah.
And I've had a few great conversations with him just about like suits, even though like some of which we disagree.
Yeah.
Like we still come to like a conclusion, you know. The friendly, no, you're wrong and I'm right, you know. The friendly banter. We love to argue about it.
Iron Spider suit.
He will kill me for that. I know he will, and I'm pretty sure he is. I'm pretty sure he's made some comments about my opinions on the integrated and MCU Iron Spider suits.
You know what? If I get him on here, I'm gonna tell him that, and then we're gonna have.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Good.
I hope you do.
Alright. Alrighty. That is our time. So I'm gonna talk to the people real quick. I'll be right back. Okay. Can y'all hear me? Okay, cool. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for watching today. It was a really fun interview. Remember, these are premiering on Thursdays at 6 to 7 MST. I'll see y'all in the next episode.